Welcome to another episode of Soul Pathways and Divine Adventures podcast. Today, I would like to welcome Jennifer Smith. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jennifer. Jennifer is the owner of Natural Energy Healing and also Meet the Light podcast, which is a collaboration. So, welcome, Jennifer.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having
And
me. It's always a
you're
pleasure to talk with
welcome.
you, Bobby.
Yes. And I'm excited because I was on Jennifer's podcast prior. That has to get out there yet. I'm still learning the ropes of how to do things technically. So that will get out there on my site yet soon. So but today we want to talk about Jennifer. So I want to just give you a chance to just introduce yourself and anything that you kind of want everyone to know, some things about you and how you got started.
Yeah, so my name's Jennifer Smith. My company is Natural Energy Healing, and the services I provide is Reiki energy healing, quantum energy healing. I also teach Reiki classes. The mindset coaching is a 6-month program because I think the energy healing, along with really mindset, is really what excels people to move forward. And then I have some products as well, just to support people with their positive intentions or with their energy, such as crystals and pendulums and things like that.
Well, that is awesome. So I know that we've talked a little bit about this before. So before we get into too much of what you do, I just want to take a little stroll down memory lane and like how you came up with the idea for this natural energy healing business and what kind of inspired you to just go for it.
Well, I came from the corporate world, so I would say, and it's funny because I was reading something in my journal from 2.5 years ago, and I thought, oh, this would be perfect at some point to read today. But because it kind of shows the beginning of my journey, I decided to resign from the corporate world and move into natural energy healing, more of the healing, more of the mindset work. And I came up with this big inspiring idea. It took a little while, but I worked on that since it was like around the 21 time frame. And because of this big inspired goal that I had, I decided to move on. And natural energy healing was really the name that I came up with because my idea was more about the new earth energy technologies. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time. But under that umbrella, I envisioned energy healing, really helping people step into who they really are as spiritual beings and the magnificence of what they can do here on earth. So it would be energy healing, it would be coaching and the mindset. And then also under that umbrella, it would be new earth energy technologies. And I envisioned using like the pyramid energies and Tesla's energies. It really started off with researching Tesla's work. But all of that is natural energy healing, where we could use that quantum energy to power our homes, our lights, our heat, and, because the overall idea is if people could relax and not worry about things, and some of the biggest worries are money. But if we had our
Mhm.
basic needs taken care of, then we could relax and really step into who we really are as beings.
I love that. I love that. So you are based out of where?
I'm in Smithton, Illinois.
Okay. So I love that because I wanted to be able to reach across state lines and to other people want to interview and everyone knows I'm from Wisconsin. So I love the fact that I was able to connect with you. So do you practice out of your home, Jennifer, or where do you practice?
Well, that's how I started, and that's how a lot of my students start too. Like, just start healing friends and
Right.
family. I work out of Dr. Kunovich's office now, which is also in my community. She offers acupuncture and chiropractic, and there's a massage therapist there, and then I do the energy healing. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it's really nice because it's about 5 minutes from my home, and I work there a couple of days and schedule my appointments, and so it's really nice.
Oh, I love that. Talk a little bit more about you're talking about anchoring in the new earth. Like can you elaborate on what that service means or what that means to you?
Yes, we're in exciting times. And
Yeah.
we're seeing all these things happen. Um, the new earth. Well, as I've been working on this for the last 4 years, I've it's really part of that is for people to step into their power of who they really are and bring in the light and love and making this more of a heaven on earth, right? So that's the overall vision. And the new earth would be, healing, starting with healing holistically. Um, and healing to me, yes, physical healing, emotional healing, but healing goes beyond that. I mean, it's more of everybody needs healing because you continue
Yes.
to expand and expand and expand your conscious awareness. So at some point, I like to say it's more of a abundance, reach for that abundance, because that's really what we're doing with healing. Yes, it's healing physically and all these other aspects of ourselves, but the ultimate goal is the abundance that's available for everyone.
I think that's so important for people to understand that it's out there, that healing, it's energy healing, right? And the energy's free. It's learning how to harness it and how to heal yourself. I
Mhm.
think that is so important for people. You also talked
I
about,
also read the other day that they used to call healing not healing, but it was holing, like
mm,
WHOLE, like holing, like you're pulling all the pieces of you together. And then it eventually got turned into healing. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting aspect.
that's an interesting concept because I know a lot of times when I'm doing Reiki, if I feel something at a certain point in someone's body, um, I try to pull it like through that hole, right? Like I try to pull it like a string of yarn coming out just to unravel what's in there and unknot it. So I love how that maybe connects with the whole like concept. That's
And
very
I'm thinking more
interesting.
like whole, like with the W in front, like you're becoming one, you're
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of the same thing though. Yeah. Like
Mm.
that is awesome.
Mhm.
So what drew you to this line of spirituality work with the Reiki and the quantum healing?
Well, it began with the mindset class that I was taking. I was mentored by Bob Proctor, and I really started that learning because I wanted to understand what is our true human potential. I had worked my way up in the corporate world, and then once I got to where I wanted to be, it's like, is this, you get the feeling it's still unfulfilling. Like, is this it? This is all, all those years of
Yes.
work, and this is what I get. So I knew there was more, but I didn't know what that more was. So I went into what is the human potential? Because I was always a big thinker, but my thinking was still not big enough compared to what I know today. So in that mindset class, Bob has a unique way because it's also very much a spiritual component into it as well. And he explains it in more detail. So, in terms of energy, thoughts, feelings, actions, energy, and then bringing it back and talking about us being spiritual beings and why the law of attraction works. So that's what really started my studies into spirituality and learning more about who we really are.
So for those that are listening or that are going to listen to this when I put it out there,
Mhm.
can you just explain a little bit more about who Bob Proctor is for those who may not know?
Yeah, so Bob Proctor is he's from Canada, but he really learned from mentors of his own, but he's a mindset coach. So in my program, it's really about, and I use all of Bob's teachings because I got certified through Proctor Gallagher to do that. But it's all about the law of attraction, why it works. It's all about believing. What do you believe? The belief sets the fact. And that we are here to be creators. We're creators. We're creators of our reality. So that is what a lot of his teachings are about. And also through the process of that, a lot of healing benefits come with that as well.
Yeah. So just like I just want to put it out there for anyone who again, like you've talked much about what Bob Proctor is. He's also in the video, The Secret, or in
Yes.
the movie, which is on Prime Video. I don't know where else it's shown, but if no one has ever seen that, because it's all about that mindset and positive thinking and affirmations, it's an amazing movie to watch, or documentary, I guess I want to call it, because he's
He was
on
a
there.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a large contributor to The Secret.
Yeah.
But there's some information even missing out of The Secret.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah,
there is. Like it's
the
hard to
main
capture all that
component
in an
of it.
hour. Was it an hour video? Like you can't capture all that in an hour.
Yeah, yeah, but it's so amazing. It helps a lot of people today. It helps them expand their mind to, crush limited beliefs that they might have because anything is possible.
Yeah, it really is. So you talked that you do quantum, you do Reiki. Well, we're going to touch base on that too. But I love the fact that when we connected, we both were like, oh, we do quantum healing, but we both do a very separate type of quantum healing. So can you explain to the viewers like what the quantum healing is that you do? Because I got a chance to experience it myself as well, and it was amazing. So if you want to just explain what it involves.
Yeah, so quantum healing is an energy healing as well. So with Reiki, most people know that you can get a Reiki when you get a Reiki session, you don't need to be touched. Some people use the touch Reiki method, which is good. That's fine too. But you can also do the non-touch method, which and then in the second level class, you learn how to do distance Reiki, which meaning that you know I could give a healing to my mom who's in Indiana and I'm in Illinois. I could do a healing, anytime.
Right.
Quantum energy is the same way. The quantum healing that I do is more of balancing the lower three chakras, really anchoring those ends into a peace, love, and joy state. So it just cleanses all of the energy systems. It's a really it's a really amazing energy healing.
I think that's awesome. And you offer this virtually and in person, correct? Or
Yeah, I offer it
okay,
in person and that
okay,
can be done virtually as well.
okay. I know I had the opportunity to do it virtually with
Mhm.
Jennifer, and said it was an amazing session. So I appreciated that we had a unique opportunity to exchange services, and I loved that. So, what I guess everyone always laughs when I ask this question because it's such a broad question. But what are some of the divine adventures that you've experienced on your soul pathway to get to from where you were at to where you are now?
My divine adventures. Are you talking like experiences?
Yeah,
Mhm.
what amazing things have you, good or bad, that have happened along the way that have helped shape you to where you're at right now, like, and keep you going on that path.
Oh, well, okay. So, I have this special little journal here that I write. So I pulled this out this morning and it was the very first trip that I took. And I'm so glad I looked at this morning.
That's
Um,
awesome.
that I had, there was an opportunity to go to, Mexico and, it was a group of healers that were going. And so I decided that I needed to go, even though I didn't know anybody in the group. But I took that leap of faith, which I do quite often now. When you know, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
and so this was probably one of my most profound experiences. And whenever I have these type of experiences, and they still continue to this day, I mean, there's no other way but to continue to go the path. I mean, that's I think in the beginning it's more of okay, belief and faith, and then you start having experiences, and then um then there's no turning back.
No.
There's no
Because you
turning
feel
back.
that higher vibration, right? And you just want to keep spreading that love and light everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find the page here that I had. Uh yeah, so this would have been June of 22nd, June 22 of the year 2022.
Well,
And
that's interesting.
yeah, so there were 20 of us that met, and we did a ceremony, and it's just beautiful to read what I wrote down and what all happened during that ceremony. Um, but after we got finished with our work, which was really just being present and holding positive intentions and anchoring cosmic energy, opening a portal. Um, then we got gifted with a Mayan attunement and a cosmic attunement. And now people
Nice.
I've had my Reiki attunements prior to that because I was already doing Reiki and studying Reiki. But you have those experiences and those attunements, and it's just so hard to describe the feeling from that. Um, Also, with meeting with the 20 people, that's the first time I had been in a large group of really high vibrational people. And that was an amazing experience because we had about 4 to 5 days of different work and experiences that we did together. But I would go up to my room and you could just that vibration, you're still in this really high vibration. And then just looking at like what do they do? How do they live? And it's the food they eat, it's how they act towards one another. It was such an amazing experience to be with people like that. No judgment, no, for 4 to 5
Right.
days. So that was one of my really, really big experiences.
I love that. That is an amazing experience to have. Just
Yeah.
like it kind of reminds me of Dolores Cannon, I think with the QHHT puts on these, every year somewhere different in the United States, this huge meeting with all practitioners. And, I want to go one of these years because I've heard from people who've gone and the vibrational level just of being, like you said, being around everyone that's in that state. It's just like
Mhm.
this natural high, right? Like you don't get that just from everyday experiences. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yes, it
So
sure is.
very cool. Very cool. So you do Reiki. So explain a little bit about the Reiki and if you said you practice out of a doctor's office plus your home. If you want
Mhm.
to let viewers know like what your hours are or things like that.
Yeah. So on Thursdays, if people want to come in for an in-person healing, I'm there all day Thursday at Dr.
Okay.
Kunovich's. And then for the virtual healing, I usually try to schedule those on Thursdays too. It's like my whole day Thursday is all healing or some sort of healing work. So I make sure that I keep that for that day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll have, just so the viewers know, we're gonna have all this information at the end, how to contact you, the websites that you're on, if people want to schedule a podcast with you as
Mhm.
well, to be on one of yours, and just everything on how to connect with you. So you're in another state. So kind of what sets your business apart and where you're at from other businesses?
I think what sets my business apart is I have a full coaching program on the mindset that is it's proven, with many, many 60 years worth of experiences and implementing it into people's lives. Because I do utilize the foundations of Bob's information. And then as people want to learn more, then I introduce more of the spiritual concept. So it's people have the opportunity to, you know, up level as much as they want to or not.
Okay.
It's
So,
their
and do you teach these locally and online, or how does that work when you teach the mindset?
Most of my coaching is done online.
Okay.
There have been some people locally would want to meet in person. So, I'm available for that as well. I do hold a every Thursday evening. There's a 1 hour Q&A that I have for Reiki and mindset where people can hop on Zoom and I'll answer questions.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm assuming that you have that in the information that you sent me so that we can get that out there for the viewers.
Yeah, I can give that to you, but it's the first Thursday of every month. And I'll
Okay.
be doing that all through 2025. And I felt like there was a need, especially in this time, with all the people who had learned Reiki from me to have them comment. And it's been a beautiful experience to see what other people are doing with Reiki, how they're combining it with their path in life, because you can take Reiki and utilize it with just about anything you're doing, right? Any sort of
Yes.
line of work that you're in. So there's people that are, like writers, but yet they use Reiki. They may have Reiki just set up in their home where they're healing just family and friends. And then, so it's wonderful to see how this is cascading out. And I think it's going to be 2025 is going to be wonderful.
Yeah, it's kind of like the alternative, like we do Reiki shares here, a lot of us practitioners at businesses locally every month. So it's that next step of being able to reach out and connect with people virtually in other states to have those Reiki shares done on a virtual basis. And I think that's amazing because we can connect with so many more people and learn how other people are doing, get ideas from them, just feel that high vibration.
Yes, and it's inspiring. It's so inspiring
Yeah,
to see what other people are doing, and
yes.
just the conversations. I mean, everybody can learn from one another too.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Um, another thing you'd kind of touch base on a little bit was about having balance. And I'm assuming that kind of goes along with anchoring in the new earth or the mindset, but you want to, expand a little bit more about what you meant by having balance.
I think balance is really, really important because when you can go beyond the veil, that's beautiful information, and you're tapping into information and guidance for your life. But then I feel like we need to bring that information back down to earth,
Yeah.
and we have to put actions. We're here to make our lives a beautiful life, make earth a beautiful place. And in the balance is so important so that we are living a balanced life in that way. Because if
Mhm.
we're only tapping in to just get guidance and then we're not doing anything with it, we're not putting our feet on the ground and putting actions into the inspiration, then things aren't going to happen. We're here to make things happen too, in a
Yeah.
in a effortless way, right? But the actions have to be there. I kind of look at the mindset classes, like, you come up with a large goal that's really resonating with you, and that's sort of like the timeline, that timeline trajectory that you want to stay on, and you just hold on to that goal. And it's really easy to make decisions. Does this match with my overall goal? No. Okay. If it does, yes, then go do it. And it decreases that amount of time where should I do it or should I not do it? Well, no, it aligns with your goal. Go do it. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It doesn't matter anything. Just do it. And you keep your feet on that same timeline that you want. So you're not, wavering back and forth um, between different timelines.
And I think that's important because you bring that up with timelines because obviously the universe's timeline is way different than our concept because humans are the only one that has a timeline the way we do. So
Mhm.
it's yes, if you can keep centered and grounded and keep your balance and keep that focus, that really helps. Because
Yes,
otherwise
absolutely.
the universe doesn't quite know what you mean by your time.
Right, right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So you said the mindset classes last about, is it you said 6 months?
It's 6 months. Mhm.
Okay. Are they, again, you do those online, and we have that information that we can put out there to viewers. Can you just touch base a little bit more about, if you can, about what what's all in that 6 months for people to unpack and learn?
Yeah, so there's 12 different lessons. And so you begin with just setting a large goal, like what is it that people want? Because people want different things. And that want may change over time. Maybe people want to work on relationships. Maybe they want to work on their career. Maybe they want something that's this big and beautiful thing that they see. Um, Having that out there as your goal, it helps. Then we try to visualize it. What does that look like to you? It also helps keep your vibration high because you're an you're in an inspired idea, and that's what you're going to move forward with your actions. And yeah, and then it goes through what is it in your life that you don't want right now. Okay, let's switch that around to what you do want. And then we go over beliefs and how do you synergize that all together? Because once you can synergize your thoughts, feelings, and actions into your belief, that's when you can see magic happen. That's when things come in. That's when you start manifesting. So you can go to the program many times, which I still do today, because your level of awareness keeps increasing. And every time you go through the program, you might have aha moments where, okay, now this means more to me. Now, now I understand. Now I'm going to go for the big things. So sometimes what we have on our vision boards, as far as things, that's just a little slice of what we can do. There's so much more,
Yes.
there's so much more.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree. Like, like you said, it's getting focused and having a mindset class like that, what you offer helps people stay focused and then just check those off that list one at a time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And
what's important and what do you want to do?
yeah. And finding that joy and seeing, is that really resonating? Because we're all unique. We're all on our own. We're all going to have unique paths in life. So, and that has to be honored. And so that's what this coaching class is about. And the support. Sometimes people need support, just showing up with them so they can show up for themselves. So it's 6 months. We meet weekly. There's videos, there's recordings, there's workbook. And then every morning at 6 a.m. during the weekdays, there's like a study group. So it's got to be people who are really serious about being focused and bringing in the good for their life, because it's studying, but it's
Yeah.
studying you. It's studying you. It's studying your mindset, the actions you're putting out. And it's, yeah, I work with people in all the different countries. It's implemented in every single country on earth.
That's
And
awesome. That
I
is amazing.
so many amazing things happen. The businesses that people have been building, it's just all these different beautiful things happening,
Yeah.
because they understand the power of who they are and how they are creators, and in that service that they could put out into the world, service that they enjoy doing. And it's a beautiful process.
I love it. That is amazing. So, so you have these classes. You have some classes that you have upcoming that you kind of wanted to give a shout out to let everyone know about, or
Yeah, I've been actually scheduled out to my next year classes too, but I'm continuing to teach Reiki. That's the
okay.
second Thursday of each month, and then every third month I do a master class on mindset. So it's kind of like Reiki one month, Reiki two the next, and then a master class the next. So that's the second Thursday of every month is whenever I'm holding my classes, and then I have online classes too, classes on demand, where people can just get, register to the class, learn at their own pace. And if they have any questions, they can come in on the Thursday's Q&A and ask questions.
Okay. It sounds like your Thursdays are pretty darn full.
They are. I devote my whole time to healing
It's-
and mindset and upliftment and helping people.
I
So
love that. I
yeah.
love it. So, and we'll have your website out there so people can go and see the upcoming classes. When you do these online classes, what platform are you using for the viewers to know?
I use Zoom. Yeah, I
Okay.
make it
Yeah, which
really
is pretty
easy. I
common.
send people a Zoom link. All they have to do is click on it and they're in. So
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Any other specials that you want to promote that you have going on or that you do? You said you do some product as well. Do you have anything you want to talk about there?
yeah, I offer products. I kind of reviewed like what has helped me on my journey. So those
Mhm.
things that have helped me, I now offer to other people. So essential oils, I love essential oils,
Yes.
crystals, pendulums. People are working on really tapping into their intuition. It's a way to check their intuition. It's a divine tool to use. Egyptian healing rods, I use those. as well. Um, yeah, so those are the main products.
Okay, that is awesome. Um, I'm just looking at all the questions that we had for you. So what are the future goals that you have for your business for natural energy healing?
Oh, the future goals. I
I
I
know.
kind of go along with what my guidance is. And so for 25, that's why I decided to record the Reiki classes because um Reiki is such a foundational bridgeway
Mhm.
into really bridging the physical to the non-physical world,
Yeah,
the physical to the spiritual world. And that was my path. And it's helped me tremendously. And I think it will help other people. And I think it's so, so important to have that available. Um, so that's recorded for people. Um, and then, of course, we use it every day too, right? Reiki is,
right. Yes.
yeah, we
I
live,
think the more we're in tune to Reiki, the more we just use it automatically and don't even
yeah,
think about it.
it's like yeah, it's a way of life. Uh,
Hmm.
living in
Yeah.
that good energy. Um, so yeah.
And at one point when we talked to, I thought you said that you kind of travel around and do classes. Do you
Yeah,
still
so
do
that
that?
was,
Yeah.
yeah, I did that was called the Reiki tour. So just traveling
Okay.
around to different cities and doing Reiki. Um, that's kind of exhausting too. So I've kind of changed the plans there and toned it back down and said, okay, virtually, but still servicing my community as well.
Right. And I think the nice thing about virtual is so many more people from all over the place can attend without having to worry about traveling to a city if they're not there on that date, and they can just pop in and take advantage of it. And if you have it recorded already, they can take advantage of it.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I don't know, anything else that you want the viewers to know about your business and who you are and what you're doing?
Um, I would like to read this. I think it's probably whenever it was from my journal, and people may be at this point right now, but I was looking at this and thought, oh, that's what I read. This was before my trip that I talked about, the very first experience I had that was a profound experience. And there's been many more since then. Um, but I was writing this before I left. And I wrote this at 4:14 a.m. in the St. Louis airport. It was on June 19th, but it says, I'll be journaling about my journey this week. I believe this week will be an important event for humanity. I began my life change, personal transformation over a year ago. That was moving from um, corporate into energy healing. I was beginning my awakening, although I had no idea what was going on. Right? Did you feel that way too? Like, what is
Oh
going on?
yes.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know what's happening, but I'm going with it.
Yeah. I was definitely supported by the universe throughout the process, giving me pieces of information to research and learn. The chaos of the 2020 election certainly piqued my interest to learn and understand, seek to figure out what was happening in our world. And then I followed people. So I followed these people, and so that was sort of the turning point for me of like, what is really going on? What's going
Mhm.
on? And that's whenever I started researching and just started quieting my mind and really taking that deep dive inward. And eventually you just get to the point where, okay, I don't know what information is real. So then you just begin to trust yourself more.
Right.
You take that deep inner journey in, and then stick to positivity. And so that was part of my journey. And I think hopefully that helps some people, because I think there's some people that might be there right now.
I was gonna say, yeah, we just went through another election, and when whenever we go through some type of election, whether it's the presidential one or the Senate every 2 years or whatever that is, there's always that a little bit of, some people are sad, some people are happy, depending on if their candidate won or lost. And I've talked to some people about it because for some people it's like going through a grieving process for them. and I've learned that we have to allow them to have that opportunity to go through that, but then they have to do good from that. We want to help them, get
Yeah.
get back up their vibration level. It's like you can't, if your candidate won, yay, you're all excited. If they lost, it's not the end of the world. And how do we help them through that process? And I think that's one of the things as healers that we're learning constantly, and I'm constantly learning and trying to help people with this. It's getting people to help pick them back up.
Yeah. And at the end here, I have through my learnings and my research, and I was watching somebody's podcast, and they stated what would happen in the future, what would happen for us is whatever the people believed. So that's why I always tell people you can believe anything. Just believe in something big and beautiful and then make it happen, right? It's
Yes,
what you
yes.
believe. It's what the people believed. And we also have this collective consciousness as well, the
I was
collective
just gonna say,
consciousness of
yes.
our belief. And I've
And
seen remarkable things happen with healers and light workers and visionaries over the last 4 years, because I haven't even listened to the news the last 4 years because we've been working on other things. We've been working
yes,
on this
yes.
big, beautiful plan of how we vision it. And yeah, and I think we're seeing it happen now because of the collective consciousness that we
Yeah, and
create.
I think our version in the spiritual world, when we talk about the new world, is different than how they talk about it in the political world. So when someone has a conversation with me, I'm like, no, no, no. When I'm talking about the new world, I'm not talking political.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know everything that's going on now, but I would say that people have mentioned a few things, and maybe that will help shape. I don't know, maybe the two will merge at some point,
We
but
don't
at
know.
least the
Yeah,
avenues are there for thinking bigger and more expansive, and really anchoring in the new world, the new earth. Right?
I keep telling people that I talk to, just keep that vibration high, keep spreading the love and light, because we have more power vibrationally in the world when we spread love and light as a collective than anything else on this earth. And just remember that as souls, we signed up for this. We signed
Yes.
up to experience this. So, man, enjoy it. I mean, don't be all doom and gloom, just enjoy it. And so you have people on both sides of the spectrum. And it's just so important to spread that love and light and just to keep the vibration high.
Yes. Vibration. Vibration is key. You've got to keep your
It really
vibration
is.
high.
Sending those positive affirmations out there, keeping your vibration high, like you talked about with your classes, it's that mindset, you
Mhm.
know, definitely. So, is there
Well,
anything else? Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
you talked about the vibration and the mindset. For me, that was so important. The Reiki energy, being able to do that in the mindset. So I also developed packages for people so they would continue their journey, continue their work. Um, so I have I call it a mindset mastery package,
I love it.
where they can get some coaching from me, just, a couple weeks coaching, and a online class, a healing package where you get 4 healings, and then a mindset and healing combo package, which is the ultimate, where you get, both the Reiki learning and the mindset. So just trying to put things out there for people to see what resonates with them. But oh, everyone already has everything they need. They just need to learn how to tap into the resources that's already available to them.
I love that you say that, because I always tell people we're not, as healers, we're just the conduit. You have the ability to heal yourself. You just have to tap into that power.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
So,
that's part of my mission, is to help people. And I'm part of your mission as well, right? Is to
yes,
help.
yeah, we're all part of each other's mission. So,
I remember whenever I first started teaching Reiki, and one of my family members was like, well, you're teaching people how to do what you do. Like, why would you do that? No, that's not the concept. That I want people to do that. Like, we want this to
exactly.
cascade out so everybody can just, you know, be
I
healed,
have
own the
same
of
thing.
their
I have
power.
people. Yeah, I have friends who were like, well, but if you're teaching people, then you're just taking your clients away because
Yeah.
they don't need to come to you anymore. I'm like, that's okay. Because the
Yes.
whole purpose of Reiki is not to just make money. The purpose of Reiki is to show people how they can heal themselves and to harness that power from the universe and help others too. Because when you help others, you help yourself. And what a great collective if we all did Reiki every day,
Yeah. And they say whenever Reiki was really, well, it's pretty popular today, but at one point it was like, they didn't keep teaching people how to do it. So it would be like a healer in in one town, and they would be like the healer and not be teaching other people. And I must have read that story for a reason because I'm like, no, we gotta keep moving this along.
We
This
got to
is
change
too
that. I
great
mean,
for
that concept's got to go out the window.
exactly.
It kind of just reminds me of, yeah, because for some people, holding that power means, that's what they love. But you need to share it. That's what
Mm,
we're here for. You need to share it with the collective and with everybody. And that's what's going to make it powerful.
yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Anything else that you want everyone to know about? Anything you want, any last minute things you want to add that we didn't cover? I love the story that you read, from your journal before you went. It was Mexico, right?
It's
So did
Mexico.
you write? So question, did you write in your journal after coming back from Mexico?
After coming back. Oh yeah. So um oh I have like 13 journals over here from the last 4 years. And I keep thinking like you go through and it's like, how did I get to where I am right now? Right? Because we learn from different people, we learn from one another, we learn all these modalities. And I know it's in those journals. And sometimes I like it doesn't matter how you got to where you are. But for some reason that keeps coming into my mind. So I'm gonna have to write a book, at least for myself, to get this all down in one spot instead of
Take
being
all those 13 journals and write a good book.
yeah, so that was June 22nd. And uh I also have like I met this person and I still keep in contact with all of those girls. So that's interesting. Uh let's see. Then in September I had an experience. We have a piece of land right behind my house. It's a and you can it's for the public. You can be a part of it. You pay like $100, but for the whole year. And it's like I go back there and I walk a lot. It's so peaceful. I call it just a little slice of heaven. And
Oh,
I had an experience there, meditating out there one time where I got introduced to more of I would say, I called them the blue beings for a long time, just in the energetic realm. And so
okay.
that was September 16th. That was my first introduction. This little book, this journal has a lot of stuff in it. And then later in September of 22, I went to I went to Ecuador and was there for the consecration of the Pyramid of Peace. And the Pyramid of Peace is Tosa Blue Mountain. And there was a lot of indigenous tribes that came that day. It was amazing. And the vibration, the frequency of that pyramid is you can just feel it. I mean, it raises the consciousness level into this like peace, joy state. So that was an amazing experience as well. So that was on September of 22, September 22nd of 22. What was interesting was, and I pieced this together whenever I was reading it this morning, was I remember my plane ride down there and my plane got delayed. I was in Miami, so to get to Ecuador, it was delayed 12 hours. So I thought,
Wow.
what am
Oh,
I going to do? So I think I remember it was evening time, but then it wasn't going to leave until early morning. And so I just happened to take a blanket with me on that trip, which I don't carry blankets, whenever I travel, but I did that time. So I thought, well, it's only 12 hours. By the time I leave the airport, there's not enough time. So I'll just sleep here on the floor and wait the 12 hours in the airport. That was my thinking. But I always wonder, like, why do things like this happen? Because I think everything happens for a reason. But in that 12 hours while I was sleeping, I basically slept, there were so many energetic downloads to me. I almost felt like my body had to get more energetically prepared before I went to the Pyramid of Peace, which is so high vibrational. I felt like I was getting
Okay.
prepped for that. That's the only thing that I can think of with why was that delay? Why did I take a blanket? Why did all of these rainbow colors come through to me through my visions? So it's, and experiences like that just keep going and going and going. So that's why you keep going on your path because you're completely guided. You have, have the information that you need to keep moving forward. Um, so you just keep moving along. You live in the now. You take the next step when you're guided to. Um, so yeah, so that was another interesting experience. And then right after I got back, a lot of things happened in 22. On October 1st, I was out at my little piece of heaven land again, and I would go out there to really like practice like a walking meditation, like really your mindset. How can you just observe without having all these thoughts bouncing back and forth, right?
Right.
And during that time, I I was visioning because I always vision like, what does this new earth technology look like? Well, on that day, October 1st, 2022, um, I actually have on film a UFO. So
Wow.
all of these things happen. So then that takes you down another path too, right? Like, what is this all about? So then I sent
Hmm.
the video to some of the spiritual leaders that I knew and asked them. And the information I got was, well, that that scene that I had and that UFO, he said it was an interdimensional that I had witnessed, and it happens all the time if people are at the level of consciousness to recognize it, and that it was at a if David Hawkins has a whole level of consciousness. And what is his book? Force.
Oh,
You know what I'm
I
talking
know
about.
who you're talking about, and I can't think of the name of the book right now. But yes,
Um,
shoot.
but that it was
Well,
at 660 level of consciousness at that time, which
yeah.
is stating, at the level of peace. So, yeah, so I have all of these things that happen in the energetic field, in the energetic realm that we can see through our inner vision. But then I also have things that manifest on the physical plane too, that I have pictures of, that I have videos of, that it can't be, it can't be denied.
It can't all be explained away by science, right?
That's right, that's right.
I know. I love, sometimes when I'm with people and we get together and we start talking about those stories, because I had a UFO encounter with my family when I was a kid.
Mhm.
And I love talking about it because you see such similarities in the stories of the real stories that happen. And again, you can't explain it away because we weren't the only ones. And then the next day, this is way before cell phones and all this stuff. And the next day it was on the news how all these people reported this and the government could not identify what it was. And I'm like, well, I know what it
Yes,
was.
yes.
So yeah.
So my journey next, I was kind of guided to get different journals. So one is the blue, which I have a lot of stories in here, a lot of different things happening. And then earlier this year of 24, it's really the peak energies. I have I have
Oh,
a quartz journal here, color journal, and it's all about all the pink energies and all the wonderful things that happen there. So, and it's not
I love
just
that you
people,
have the
whenever
color
I'm
coded
around people,
ones.
things happen, and it's so beautiful. It's
Yeah.
really interesting and inspiring.
I think to me, I find journaling very helpful, and obviously you do too because you have a lot. Because you can look back on the progress you made, and again, sometimes you read things and go, "Oh my God, I totally forgot about that I
Hmm.
was feeling this or that," and it kind of just brings you back up, especially if you're like having a day where you're like feeling out of sorts, and then I go read it, and I'm like, "Wow, like this is so cool."
Yeah. So one thing that came up whenever I was reading that journal, that's why I need to go back through them again. I really started journaling because I wanted to check, like, you know, things start to happen and then you start to question, is this real? And you journal
Right,
and
yes.
then you start flipping the page, like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, that happened. Yeah, that happened. So I always tell people too to journal, like journal. When you start to really going for your dreams, things are going to happen really quickly. Like just even on how things come into you, how things just manifest for you. You meet the right people, the right things fall into your into what you're looking for. But whenever we went to the Yucatan Peninsula to do our work, that was the first experience I talked about. At the end of that, um, the Mayan guy, he gave us this. His father had wrote this. Um,
Okay.
and his father had built the base of a pyramid where we were, and he told his son, who's the rightful chief, um, you will know when the right people come what to do. And so we were the right people to come and do this ceremony around the base of this pyramid that his father had built 20 years prior. And but his dad also wrote a book. And so I thought, I
That's so
remember
cool.
reading this book at the time. So this was 2.5 years ago. I didn't know what I know today. So I thought, you know what? Because he really wanted us to read this. I'm going to go back and read that book today. But I thought it was interesting too, because the very last page is what I turned to today. But it said, people of light continually pray that the leaders of this country may make enlightened decisions. I thought, ooh, this kind of corresponds. And
Mhm.
then the last paragraph is, he talks about, may Abraham Lincoln continue to greet the rising sun and fill the bathing waters of the Potomac behind him. May he, with his inspired patience, receive the message of our Father, Son, and give it to the people. In this way, he can awaken the solar spirit within his brothers and sisters. May the great power of this country be properly used to awaken the spirit of mankind, as is written in the message of my Mayan ancestors. And I thought, wow, we'll see.
We'll see, right? We'll see. We hope, right? We just
Yeah,
always want,
I
we
hope
want to
so.
always have the United States prosper and keep moving
Yeah,
forward as a country. That's why we live here, the land of the free.
yeah. So we'll just keep doing our work, and hopefully
Exactly.
everybody else will do their work as well. And
Yes. It's just such a pleasure talking with you today. I know you go by Jen, not Jennifer. So I just want to thank you for taking an hour out of your day to do this podcast with me. We'll get this posted soon for everyone to see. And
well,
that's all.
thank
Thank
you,
you so
Abby.
much. Huh?
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for
You're
all the
welcome.
work that you do. It's
All
beautiful.
of us.
I appreciate you inviting me onto your podcast.
You're welcome. You have a great day. Talk
All right.
soon.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye.
Bye-bye.